What's up, guys? It's Super.Ultra here, and it's that time of the month where I do my show and tell. This is my March toy haul. So, just recently, Pacific Rim Uprising came out in theaters, and some people love it, some people hate it. I really liked it. I think that it's a cool homage to a lot of the anime that we watch, and the super robot and the real robot genres. Really fun, didn't take itself too seriously, which is perfect. And from that, I went ahead and got the Pacific Avenger from the robot Damashii. And paint on this figure is minimal, but it looks about right, and it has really good posability for a $20 figure. I was really psyched to get it. I really like it. And the design of the mech itself is cool too. This guy kicks some butt. And then Guardian Bravo here, wrecking ball of a mech. He was pretty awesome in the movie too. A little bit limited in the shoulder, but still pretty amazing considering the design and that it was only a $30 toy. I did some really cool robot yoga with those guys. Maybe if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that stuff sometime. And then I picked up the Raijin Vinyl Spirits figure. I just wanted to see what this line is all about. I think that I'll probably skip the rest of them. Real minimal articulation. He kind of just stands there on the shelf, or you know, you can do a little bit of like that if you're gonna take some pictures. Pretty boring for a figure, and it was actually 40 bucks, which, you know, it's big, but it's not you know, it's not super articulated, so it's kind of a one-trick pony. Lumen Large, not the largest, but pretty big there in the background. I'm sure you guys already see that Shin Robo, but we'll talk about him here in a little bit. I did want to show you this guy first, though. This is the Sentinel 4-inch null Ryoma Nagare, and he's based off of the Shin Robo Armageddon designs. Really nice companion piece to this Shin Robo, and yeah, I really love him. He was pretty expensive for how small he is, and he's a little limited. Had to mod him a little bit to make all of his joints work properly, but that's pretty normal. We'll talk more about that later when we get to the big robots. I got 4 different Figuarts this month, so that's a big deal to me. I love Figuart. It's probably my favorite line. Got the Season 2 Kamen Rider Amazon Alpha blind version. This is you know, pretty much the same figure as before, but he's got some extra paint details on him, and he's got the white eyes, which is supposed to be signifying that the character cannot see anymore, which is the case in the show. Really amazing show. The movie's coming out this summer. If you guys are into Kamen Rider, and even if you're not, it's kind of appealing to science fiction and horror fans across the board, so check that out if you haven't. It's awesome. I also got the Figuarts Ultraman Geed, or Jeed, I should say. Ultraman Jeed. He's the most recent Ultraman. New one's on the horizon. Nobody knows what it is yet, but this last season was really cool. I thought it was not as good as Orb when it first got started, but it definitely grew on me, and I ended up loving it. If you haven't seen Ultraman Jeed, it's all done. Definitely check it out. Kid Goku, awesome. When I saw this, I knew that I was going to have to have the little guy. Whoops. And I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. Most North American anime nerds are. It's kind of how we got into it. And I don't think this is the case for everybody, but I actually saw Dragon Ball long before I ever saw Dragon Ball Z. before it was ever on Toonami, somehow on some random satellite channel that my grandparents had, I was able to absorb some Japanese cartoons. So I saw this, I wasn't really aware of what it was, I just thought it was a cartoon, and then later when Dragon Ball Z came on the scene, I was really into it. Kid Goku, smaller than a typical figure art, limits him just a little bit. Really love the figure. He's got 3 different faces, so he's super expressive, and I just want to see more from the Dragon Ball line as opposed to Dragon Ball Z. So we got Bulma and Roshi on the way. Should be good. I'm going to skip Roshi, but Bulma I'm definitely going to get because she's my girl. Picked up this Ash figure. He was on sale on CD Japan's website, and I just picked him up to add something to one of my shipments coming from Japan, so it could kind of make the shipping a little more economical. And I'm glad to have him because I do collect figures for my video game display, and that's also why I picked up this Figma Link. I think this is probably the coolest Link figure that there has ever been. I appreciate the Twilight Princess and the Skyward Sword versions that Figma's done, but this is the Link that I remember when I was a kid, seeing the comics in Nintendo Power and the art on the manuals. This is how I always thought of Link. I do love that like later Ocarina of Time kind of design take that they went with for some of the later Links. But no, this is iconic. I think this makes the most sense on my shelf, and he's also perfectly in scale with the other figures. I think he's perfect with the 4-inch now Mega Man that I have. All right, now we're gonna get into the back row here. If you guys have never seen Ryobot Sentai Zyuoh, pardon my pronunciation, this is the mecha set from that show, which I really thought was cool. I just wanted to show off his transformation for you guys right quick. Whoops. Pretty awesome. I know a lot of people trash on the design because they're just cubes, but I think they're really fun. I like the novelty of it, and I think it would be really interesting if Hasbro was taking over the Bandai of America, or not Bandai of America, but the Power Rangers toy license. If this show was to be adapted, they would do a fully articulated, perfect transformation version of this mech, which I think would be really, really cool. If you haven't seen this show, check it out. It's lighthearted, fun, Super Sentai. And my local Toys R Us is closing just like all the other ones, and it was pretty desolate. You know, there wasn't really a lot of options for me as far as things that I wanted at a good price, but I did find this. I found this World of Nintendo Metroid from Jakks, and I was totally unaware it existed. And I love Nintendo, but Metroid isn't a franchise that I'm a follower of. But I picked this up because it was cheap and because it's really cool. It's got some details that I didn't expect. It's pretty articulated for what it is, and I think I'll end up taking some cool photos with that. I just think that it looks kind of like some kaiju or something, so keep an eye out for that. I'm sure I'll be taking a photo soon. This guy. what a badass. I'm gonna put him a little more front and center, guys. He's this month I knew that this metal build Mazinger Z was gonna come. I knew that this Riobot Shin were gonna come, and I was really looking forward to both of them. And I had some heads up as far as what they might be like, and even so, I was totally blown away by this figure. It definitely has an articulation scheme that is above and beyond any figure that I've ever owned, and the quality is extremely nice. I still haven't seen this movie. I've I didn't make it to the theater. We're waiting on our video release here in the West, and I really look forward to it. It's Mazinger Z. I know I'm gonna love it, but even without the movie, the design of this toy is incredible, and as soon as I saw it, I knew that it was gonna look cool with this guy, and I think it really does. I have the Riobot Mazinger on pre-order from Big Bad Toy Store, and supposedly that's gonna be a real thing someday. We'll see. It seems too good to be true, but it is what it is. I have my pre-order in, and I think that the three of these guys are gonna look really cool together. Let me get this guy out of here. Oh. I don't think that there will be a figure that'll come out this year, and maybe not for a long time, that I will love as much as this Riobot Shin. He's really awesome. If you love this show, you love this robot, you gotta give this a shot if you can afford it. I think that it's pretty expensive for a lot of casual collectors, but if you're in the the high-end robot game, this is no big deal. It's got a ridiculously nice articulation, really nice finish, really amazing toy. I feel a little hesitant to play with it a lot because it's so nice, but it does seem pretty sturdy. I did have an issue with it when I first got it. The ab joint was just not working right, and it wasn't even connected when I got it out of the box. Couldn't really get any support. That's what happens a lot of times when you're over here in the United States and you get a toy from Japan. You might not be able to get any customer service, but luckily I got in there with a little bit of sandpaper, reduced the size of the ball in the ball joint, and it made everything work a lot smoother. And he doesn't fall apart anymore. So yeah, definitely my favorite thing right now. Whenever I walk up to my case, I spend a lot of time just staring at this handsome man. And then if you've been viewing my other videos, whoops. Sorry about that, guys. If you could only see how I have this cell phone rigged up to my tripod, you would understand how that little accident just happened. It was pretty silly, but I'm back, and this is the final piece. If you've been paying attention to my videos or even my Instagram, you know that I was putting this guy together, found it all at retail, paid retail prices for all of it, so it was a little over $100 to put him together. He's gigantic. He's got cool electronics and sounds. Fairly articulated for this kind of toy. Surprisingly good, actually. It's got ratchets all over the place, even though they're plastic. And yeah, he's pretty impressive. I really am glad that they made this thing, and I'm really excited to own it, because this is the first Voltron toy that I've been able to just go out and buy. I did get that Icarus Voltron 2 months ago, and that was a really nice piece, but I had to pre-order that from the manufacturer in China. Not from the manufacturer, but from a store. And I was able to just walk into Walmart and pick these up. So that's a totally different thing. That's a different feeling, and it kind of makes you feel like a kid again. It's really cool. If you got a kid in your life and he's into cartoons and robots and stuff, this is a big deal. So go get them if you can find them. And I just wanted to say thanks for viewing. This is Super.Ultra, Robo.Rider, in association with Super Robot World. Check us out on Google+. We're always talking about super robots and mecha, and debating the latest thing. And check me out on Instagram, Super.Ultra, Robo.Rider.
I'm not